Point-and-click games, a genre about as old as PCs itself, being an evolution of its predecessors. It's the perfect cell of adventure games, starting from text-based games like Zork, Mud, and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, with another little indie gem example being the Oregon Trail, which started out as a text-based adventure and not the sprite-based misfortune simulator we're all familiar with. I mean, look at it. Like, even the hunting was done by text, having to type in bang to get meat from the text-based wildlife. Shout out to the site called 50 Years of Text Games, Portal, letting me play and get footage for this video. It lists the games available, along with links for you to play. I'll put it in the description in case you want to check it out. Moving on, the years go by and more powerful PCs get made. Look at the size of that RAM and hard drive. Goodness, who'd need that much space? And hey, we can make rudimentary graphics. And so, on the 20th century, software engineers said, "Let there be sprites," allowing us to have images in our adventure games instead of having to guess what to do, bumbling in the dark, literally in some cases. Around this time, games like Mystery House and the first King's Quest came out, having some beautiful, wonderful 16 colors. Look at itty bitty King Graham, or rather Sir Graham right now. For frame of reference, the NES had 56 colors when it came out, and these two are only separated by like a year. Fast forward again, and someone had the truly mind-boggling idea of letting you click on stuff, being introduced in King's Quest as well, though limited. And over the years, it started taking definitive shape with games like Monkey Island, Broken Sword, and Myst. There was a time when they were everywhere, with different themes and subjects. Horror, Clock Tower, sci-fi, Star Trek, noir, Grim Fandango. Do you have a film or book you really like? Chances are they've been made into one, like Blade Runner and I Have No Mouth and I Must Goon. That's right, the funny robot who, fun fact, is voiced by the author, Harlan Ellison, which I found out like much later, since for a long time I thought it was like voiced by Mark Hamill. And then along came Flash, which needs no introduction. If you've grown up during the late 2000s, early 2010s, you know what a Flash game is. Hell, if you've ever touched a PC ever, you'd know what Flash is. It allowed young fledgling devs to strut their wings and make your childhood. As long as you had internet or access to services that offered it, then you're fine. Being a kid introduced to sites like Friv and Y8 and eventually getting to Newgrounds was a slow but guaranteed fall into gaming, especially for those that can't really afford good hardware and games, since at that time, Steam wasn't really as available in my country. Hell, a lot of stuff wasn't available for like the average family. I remember being like one of 4 people in my neighborhood to have like Wi-Fi. We weren't even rich. It was the early days when Wi-Fi wasn't as needed as it is today, and the economy hadn't tanked yet. So, you know, the years when you could feed a family with a single salary, but also it was fucking tattoo, so it sucked, slow as hell, and god, it was just awful, awful, awful. But good enough for Flash games, and thank god for that. And it was a renaissance, from casual games to puzzle games, fighting games, and point-and-click games. I played a lot of them when I was growing up, finding them through luck, but eventually seeking them out when I got older. There were tons who made them, from Script Wielder and his Deep Sleep and Don't Escape series to like Riddle School and today's subject, Carmel games. These games were short and sweet, so you could play a whole series in a few hours. The first point-and-click games I played were from them. They're the earliest gaming memories I've had, aside from like Plants vs. Zombies, Battle Realms, and other handful games that I played in the computer shops, or in this case, Pisonets. You know, Type in the comments if you used one of these things, and how much did they charge you per, like, peso, right? Because mine was like, that was a steal. It's like 1 peso for like 5 minutes of internet use, or computer use. So I wanted to look back and play some of their catalog and see if they're as good as I remembered. I'll score each one at the end and give my opinions on them and see if I'm still as dumb as I was when I was young and if I still have the muscle memory of solving them. Starting with the first one I've ever played, Route 401 Motel. This was the first one I've played, ever. I forgot how I first encountered this game. My memory says Friv, but something's telling me it's like Armor Games Y8 or like Doppler. After a light bit of reminiscing, I start the game where our character is celebrating his uncle's death. Well, not actually his uncle, more like his cousin's neighbor's death. But sweet, he gave us a motel for some reason. Must be haunted, but when we get there, the motel had been taken over by a bunch of yahoos, so we gotta get rid of them.
Target neutralized!
The moment I started, it was like a flood of memories coming back to my brain as if time never progressed. But I did misremember moments like this, where I tried knocking multiple times since I thought I could get a bad end where I get beat up, which I confused for another scene later in this game. Having nowhere to go, I visit the pier, where there are 3 stalls, one where there are caricatures, candy, and a duck shooting game. I decided to shoot some ducks first, and god, the hitboxes are actually borked. I hit some ducks straight in the middle, and I missed. But thank god there's no fail condition, I just have to hit 15 ducks. And after doing so, we get a flashlight. Battery not included, cheap bastards. With nothing to do, we visit the clinic and grab a stick, remembering also why we need to go here, which is to find the allergy of one of the yahoos. But it's locked, so we have to find the key. So finally, we report them to the cops, who tell us they're low on personnel. Or personal, not personnel, and can't do anything, but if we can get a photo, that would help catch them. So we get a fumigation flyer from the board and unplug his PC so that he drops a master key to open up the clinic, legally of course, because we're law-abiding citizens and not psychotic at all. After getting in, we yoink the batteries and look at the files, and we learn the name Dale Henfricks and that they're allergic to peanuts. But the thing is, I might not have done this in the correct order, since at this point we don't even know the name of the family yet, but I guess here we are. We go to the pier and get ourselves a peanut bar, as well as contacting the exterminator to go to the hotel for some reason. So we go back and check there, and there he is! He knocks and gets his ass beat, and I finally remembered that the exterminator was the one that gets into the fight and disintegrates. Holy shit. We just lured a random guy into his death for essentially no reason, because what was the plan? Why did we call the exterminator? I know it's to get this spray, but there should have been other ways to get it without getting someone killed. It also tells us not to spray people in the face with it, which is subtle foreshadowing. With that blood on our hands, we go back to the pier to get a caricature of the guy, giving the guy extra, you know, to offset the karma of getting that other guy killed. And we gave it to the police, who identifies them as the Henfricks, Dwayne, Jasleen, and Dale, but we still have to wait for morning for reinforcements. Finally, we have everything needed and the siege can begin. We start by spraying a guy in the face, causing permanent damage. Afterwards, we go to the closet and get an extension cord. Use it to fry the mother after adjusting it with our stick. She leaves her hair, and we wear it to trick the kid into eating peanuts, knocking him up, drowning in a pool with them, all passed out. We report to the cops, who apprehend them. Route 401 Motel, still as fun as I remember it. The protagonist is classic adventure game psychotic, and the logic isn't as bizarre yet. It took me 10 minutes to complete, so short 2. Overall, 8. Back in Time 1 and 2. They're a duology, like Star Wars, but better because it's a pointed click. These two came a little bit later on since they have these little pre-screens with their studio and... An ad? Damn right, an ad. We're gonna be swimming in gold now. This is also when I relearned they're called Carmel Games and not Mouse City. This video was originally called the Mouse City Catalogue until I figured that out. Mouse City is basically their publisher. I got confused since a majority of their games, Mouse City is the one that gets plastered and shown. They even have their own intro. So thank you, past me, for telling me to rewrite this, since for a while now I thought it was reversed and Carmel Games was the publisher and Mouse City were the devs. Another thing added is the language select when you press play, and look at these choices. Mr. Worldwide over here, they're really moving up in the world. In Back in Time, we play as Bill E. Robinson, a genius inventor of a time machine. He is recording a Shark Tank audition tape when suddenly a 50-pound spider flicks the lever and sends him to the past. They're really making the most out of that ad money since this game now is voice acting. Being stuck, we then get our time machine instructions to figure out what we should do next. But the only thing of importance we should really know is the ice cream recipe, since the only things here is the instructions, which are blocked, and that we need a buttload of electricity to power this thing. There's also a couple of things like the clothes in the barn, which made me remember that I could get a bed in here. So I restarted and went into town without changing clothes, and as expected, we got burned at the stake. I will try to get all the bad ends in every game if they have them, or if I can remember them. After reacquiring the necessary items, the instructions, the bat, shovel, and peasant clothes, we can finally go places. I picked the well to go to first. After examining the face-eating bird, we go down the well and get a helmet and some snowballs. Remembering that the helmet is used as a disguise to sneak into the watchtower, I went there next, but couldn't since the gate was locked. So instead I defiled the grave, normal stuff. I also found a bucket in a hollow tree, probably to waterboard someone with or something insane. I then go to the farm and give the dog a human bone to play with and grab some seeds, an egg, and some milk that we need for the ice cream, only missing some sugar and vanilla. But before that, we go back to the well and feed the bird some seeds to get its ranch, which we'll use as a lever to get into the guardhouse. Opening the gate, we convince him we're a watch guard and get full unsupervised access to their storehouse, along with their sugar, where we'll totally not spike it with stomach-dissolving poisons. So we get the potato sack, and this was where I kinda forgot where to get vanilla, so I just mix the ingredients so I don't have to make it harder for myself later. But after a few minutes, I had a eureka moment and gave the freezing man the potato sack, who gives us vanilla. So we add the vanilla, then the ice, and voila! Ice cream, baby! Ice, baby. Fuck me. I don't think that's how it works, but sure. With everything we need, we then head to King Inko's castle, where he's holding a competition for the most delicious food, where he was served ass pies all day. No, that's not a sexual euphemism. So, we give him his ice cream, and he enjoys it. He offers us a reward, gold or a lightning rod. How does he have access to this lightning rod? Never explained. I pick the gold for a bad ending and get robbed and burned in the streets, getting both the bad ends. Much like the end of Dead Money, we let go. Leave the gold. But unlike New Vegas, we can't cheese it to get the gold anyway, so we go back in defeat and hook up the lightning rod to the time machine, where conveniently a thunderstorm starts, powerful enough for the time machine. And with that, we're back home and finished with Back in Time 1, completing it in 5 minutes, so I decided to boot up Back in Time 2 as well. But before that, the rating, which I give another 8. The story's a bit but the bad ends and the logic puzzles were pretty good. Not psychotic enough though. Now we have a sequel. We start the game and see Bill selling the time machine and acting as our Doc Brown, where our protagonist buys it off him to get revenge. On who? Did a man murder his parents or did he lose a lover to his arch nemesis? No? He wants revenge on a boy band, the Backstreet Boys. This man is a generational hater. It's been years and he still won't let it go, even willing to probably get scammed on a time machine in a park, just for the chance to get revenge. He's petty, possibly criminal, definitely psychotic. Great traits for a protagonist. Needs to work on his evil laugh though. And it's ours for $100. We take it of course and the machine actually works, and we're flung to the distant time of 1994, which is 31 years ago, a fact immediately verified by the magazine we pick up, telling us how to dress cool. And it's an outfit, I guess. With a goal in mind, we open our map and are greeted by fossils like laser tag, an arcade, and a blockbuster. We head for a blockbuster while I talk about delicious foods we have here. We have a food here in my country that's like named after these like tapes. It's called the Betamax. Like it's Betamax is like a food. It's basically like dried blood. It's pretty fucking delicious since we like put it in a barbecue. There's a clerk and his beast of a PC that was most likely stronger than my PC when I was younger. I try to rent, but I don't exist in this time, so I don't have an ID, and I doubt they take future IDs. So we leave and go to a laser quest where we can't do anything yet, so we head to the arcade where we could win a super Pogtainer. Remember Pogs? God. That was still relevant till like the 2010s, because I know, like when I was younger, we were still playing with Pogs. But enough of that. So, with all locations exhausted, we head to the mall where I try to audition without that humiliation suit. But alas, I cannot. The lady with the weird voice has told me I'm not cool, apparently. So I head to the clothing store where the clerk asks us to return a video to Blockbuster for her, completely trusting us to return the video. Times were really different back then. Too trusting. We also find a pin here. Returning the video, we borrow another one under her name, which we'll use responsibly. By that I mean we give it to a kid in the arcade, losing it forever and leaving her with a shit ton of fees, which shouldn't be too serious considering future events. After winning the game, we get the Pogtainer, a teddy bear eye, and a coin. Combining the eye and a pin gets us an earring, and with that we only need the vest. So we return to the mall and softlock ourselves. That's right. If you get the yogurt before finishing up with laser quests, you're trapped. Since you can't enter with food and you can't like put it somewhere or dispose of it, since it's a key item, so I restart. At least after finding the last items I needed, which is this cup and ticket, which marks my first loss, and wow, third times really is the charm. So I basically engage speedrun mode, going as fast as I can to finish, picking up a magazine, going to the mall, getting all the items there, then absolutely choking by picking the arcade rather than the Blockbuster to return the tape, but I recovered. Getting the horror tape, going to the laser quest, giving our coupon to get the clerk away and get soap from the restrooms. Then to the arcade to get the coin, eye, and Pogtainer. Then making my way back to the girl to get my vest, and finally pick up the yogurt, topping it with soap, and finally giving it to the Backstreet Boys, making them turn on each other instantly, forever changing the future into a dystopian hellscape apparently. I guess the future hinged on these assholes, leading to a future ruled by girl groups, specifically the Spice Girls, making people dress like subhumans, and also they somehow discovered hover tech early, finishing at a lightning fast 3 minutes 40, which I could have cut down if I didn't fumble early. With that, Back in Time 2 is done. I give it a 9 out of 10, psychotic guy, psychotic plot, made me softlock, great speedrun potential, next. Rainbow's Tale, which from the title card and, looks of a menu, you can guess that this is an homage or parody of Tales from the Crypt. It even has its little intro before stories. We play as Mike, a struggling burger shop owner. Well, why is he struggling? Is he just a bad cook, or does he ignore every health and safety rule and let rats shit everywhere? Well, no, it's actually because of a rival store called Joe's that steals customers with their alluring recipe. Maybe she has the real 11 herbs and spices. Or some of that.
Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce.
But before we could ponder on it some more, the radio plays, talking about a missing persons case, the fourth victim of a serial killer, loose in the mall. Being the good Samaritan we are, we try to solve this mystery, and not for any other reason, and thus, the adventure begins. We talk to Joe first, and opens with one of the most bitchiest lines ever.
Well, if it isn't Mister, I'm going out of business.
This woman gives high school mean girls a run for their money. It surprised me, because this is the first, interaction with anyone, ever. Using this humiliation as motivation to destroy this witch of a woman and save our stand, we move on, after grabbing a burger, which will be handy later on. We leave to check the other parts of the mall, and what's really nice is that when you hover over a shop, Mike says the name of it out loud, and I thought that was really nice.
Organic gift shop. Organic gift.
Another thing here is a shuttered store of Carmel games, which is really sad because they did shut down, and surprisingly recently too, in 2020 recent. They stopped producing games long before that though, because they weren't making money from it anymore, but want to create more games still if given the chance, which fly high Carmel Games, and thank you for making my childhood. It was really good times with you. Moving on from the crippling realization that everything I love is either dying or getting worse until I don't even recognize them as the same person anymore, we go to the security room and get the broom, cup, and crowbar. We also check out the parking lot where the people went missing, and conveniently there's an X on the floor. I wonder what that could mean. Oh well, having nothing to do here, we go to the organic fruit shop and buy a pumpkin and visit the toy store, where we try to get the sword, but we're stopped by the clerk. In response to this, Mike breaks the fourth wall to show a fraction of his power. Unsatisfied with this display, he decides this woman should die.
Now I will take your life. Consider my power in a hollow grave.
And drops a bell on her, and surprising me again, because I kind of forgot about this. Because I remember it was just a distraction. I mean, I might be technically right. Nothing's more distracting than, being dead. So we get the sword using the broom and go out. Surprise, it actually has more places to go, which stumped younger me since I thought the only places I could go to were the shops, so I got stuck and stopped playing to, play the other games they had. Going to the gas station, we get some donuts, and a very nice message from our rotting friend.
Enjoy your donuts, Mikey.
How sweet. But these donuts aren't for us. You know who'd appreciate them though? A little piggy who's been keeping things from us. So we place the lure and check the files, and lo and behold, turns out the X is relevant. I'm shocked just as much as you are. That place actually marks where the Mall Harbor Butcher abducts his victims. We got what we came here for, so we visit the wax museum there. There's a vault that needs a code. But where is this code? Well, we get it by solving this Sudoku puzzle, which I immediately solve, because I'm just that smart. We get the password and get a mannequin body, combining it with a pumpkin to make a scarecrow. And you can probably see what the plan is by now. So we'll just go to the last stop and get the last few things we need. And that place is an abandoned burger restaurant that got bankrupted because of Joe, and a sign of the future if we don't haul ass and get famous. So we get the last item, which is a spoiled packet of hot sauce. With that, we can start wrapping up. We put the hot sauce on our burger and feed it to Joe, making her scream from the spiciness. She asks us to get water, so we obliged and get her some water. I mean, what are neighbors for? So we get her some chocolate water, which makes her puke and pass out on the floor. So we can go inside her shop to possibly get the formula. But there's a door with a keypad which requires a key. Now, why would they require that much protection for a recipe? Guess she really wants to protect it, huh? But with our first plan to save our restaurant gone, we try to catch the killer instead. So we plop down the most obvious bait ever known to man. He takes it and drops a key. Now, what place needs a key, I wonder? So, we go to Joe's and put it in, but we still need a code, which we get from a napkin. It's their telephone number. Now that we're talking about it, the people of this town need better security. Like, why is a password to your storage something easily found? Like, why is it in a Sudoku? Why is it in a napkin? I know no one would think the password is in there, but come on! And finally, we go in, and reveal that, yes, Joe is the killer, and they've been serving them as hamburgers. Ah, a classic. Not original, but gotta respect the hustle. After finding out, we're confronted by Joe, so we drop a weight on him, like an actual Looney Tunes ass weight cube. Why would you have this in your kitchen? To ground beef? Well, anyways, after killing this guy, Mike gets an idea. I mean, hey, you left all this meat lying around, why not use it? And so we do, and save our business by cooking Joe and the other worker in the burgers. And with that, we have our happy ending. Shopping Mall. I'd say is the best of these games. It's got everything I want. Psychotic protagonist, psychotic story, great presentation, and very fun puzzles. So with this, I give it a 10. And remember, Mike is outerversal and Solo's all of fiction. Mermaid City, the last game on our list. In this one we play as Chad, a hot dog vendor near the beach, until one morning a kid, yes, a kid, not a middle-aged man, he's a kid named Buster.
Kid named Buster.
Buster.
To open
Buster
an
these
illegal
nuts?
hot dog-
He threatens everyone with a stabbing to get them to stop buying from us, so we'll have to deal with him and save our stand. And after starting, I immediately remembered that we have to turn the heater up due to the glue someone placed in our seat. How did he do this without us knowing? I mean, it's not like he was being subtle with the amount of glue he placed, so honestly, this one's on us. If we try to stand up, we can't, and we hear laughing in the distance. Little dastard. So we turn on the heater and try to call someone until I remembered I could get a bad ending by leaving my stall unguarded. Which I did, ending with my stall burning down, but from there I still don't call Donna and instead 911 to help us. Surely the cops will be useful, or they would be had this guy's dad not been the sheriff, and goddamn they copied and pasted this guy. Fuck Offsprings, this guy reproduces by butting the way they're cloned the same, even down to the crooked teeth. Visiting the gas station, we buy the pocket knife, not to fight fire with fire and stab him back or anything, just to cut the rope in the toilet, which hosts all the disease known to man. Getting everything, we go to the souvenir shop, talking to the clerk. We try to get his help, but sadly he can't even leave for food, so we give him our hot dog and we're given a choice to pick any souvenir. So we find a magnifying glass from the trash and get a bucket as a souvenir. And we're almost done now, so we head back to the gas station to fill the bucket with gasoline and return to our stand. And I think we did it too early as we still needed one more thing, but I forgot where it was, so I contacted Mark the Monkey Man and our close friend to distract the kid. And he does so swimmingly. We even get the piece of information that Jumbo here stabbed his grandmother.
That gorilla mask reminds me of my grandmother, may she rest in peace. Too bad I stabbed her.
It's funnier with the voice acting. Moving on, we continue with the job and soak the rope with gas and hang the bucket near him and place the rope as a fuse. We light it using the magnifying glass and boom! Cooked child. Good for the soul. Not finished with our plan though, we get the flyer from the souvenir shop and call a very sane lady to pick up our poor hurt boy, ending with her taking him to the house where she lives, near the asylum.
Where is your house?
Near the mental institution.
Where, surely, he'll get taken care of.
No!
Aw, he's already excited. And with that, Mermaid City is done. Even though though it was shorter than most of the games, the voice acting made up for it and was actually really funny, having moments that genuinely made me chuckle.
Oh?
So, you brought a chick to protect your stand. Nice move. Lucky for you, I don't stab girls. Hey, you! Buy a hot dog or I'll stab you!
Like Buster's funny voice and lines, he's absolutely carrying the game. Overall, 9. It was great. With that, we're done. These games were still very fun, and I could understand why younger me would waste tons of time on these. But obviously that's not all of them. They've still got plenty of these, and we're barely scraping the surface. I haven't even touched on their Vortex Point series or Luke or Cody's Nightmare Vacation, which are classics. I basically just played the first few from my childhood that really got me hooked. But I had to stop or else this video would be like a week long, and there's also other developers and games I'd like to look over as well, like the aforementioned Script Welder, B-Gamer, and others. And if you have any recommendations, comments, or wanted to see something from Carmel Games I didn't get to talk about, well, put it in the comments. So, if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, it really helps. I'll see you next time.